Welcome to the first year English students. The course Introduction to Computers. The lecture starts from page 158 up to page 171. This course is presented by Dr. Fايد. Chapter 5. Mathematical functions in Excel. After finishing this lecture, students should be able to learn formulas and functions, accessing the insert function, function insertion, the most basic functions, some product functions, and database functions. The formulas and functions. First, we'll talk about the formulas. The formulas are equations that perform calculations on values. A formula starts with an equal sign and follows the order of operations like parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, finally addition and subtraction. But the functions is a preset formula or built-in function. Functions begin with an equal sign also, like the formula, followed by the function name and its arguments or parameters. The function name tells Excel what calculation to perform, and the arguments of the function are contained or enclosed by round brackets. The function insertion. A function is inserted into a spreadsheet either by typing it directly into the active cell, or from the formula bar, or by using the insert function in Excel. The latter one automates the process by getting the arguments in the right order. Let us see the accessing of the insert function. There are several ways of accessing the insert functions. Dialog box. The first method, use the formulas menu, then select the insert function. Let us go through the Excel by searching about the Excel, then run the Excel program. You will get the home page as you see. Then go to the menu, the formula menu, select formula, then select the function insertion or insert function fx denoted by fx, then click. You will get the active cell will start with equal sign, which is in C2, and the dialog box of the functions will obtained as in figure. Then select the function whatever you like. Say for example we would like to select the function sum. You click sum, then press OK. You will get the function name. Then you have to enter the arguments of the function in the second dialog box. The other method can be obtained by pressing Shift plus the function key F3. The third one, click on the insert function icon next to the formula bar. You will see this practically by clicking the home page. You will see the formula bar. This part is called the formula bar, as we explained last week. Then the next the function insertion next to the formula bar, as you see, which is fx. Click fx, you will get the same dialog box. The fourth method, type equal sign followed by the first letter. Then select the required function from the drop-down list. Let's go through the Excel homepage. You will see type, select the cell by clicking the mouse, then type equal sign followed by the first letter of the function. Say for example the function sum start with the letter S, type S. You will see the drop down list of the function start with the letter S. The most basic functions. A function is a special keyword which can be entered into a cell in order to perform a process to some data. The function in Excel consists of the function name, as we said before, then followed by data or arguments. It means the data or arguments, range of cells. This range of cells surrounded by round brackets. Then the function starts with equal sign. The syntax of the function is, you see, equal sign, then the function name, the name of the function, then the data surrounded by round brackets or the cell range. The first three functions in Excel that we will concern the function sum, average, and count. These three functions are common functions and relatively easy to understand. They each apply to a range of cells containing numbers or blank cells but not text, and return either the arithmetic total of the numbers, the average, mean value, or the quantity of the values in the range. These three functions have the following syntax. All the functions in Excel should start with equal sign, then followed by the function name sum, SUM, and the range of data enclosed between round brackets. Similarly for the average functions, which is equal, start with equal sign, followed by the average and the cell range of the data. The count function start with equal sign, followed by the function name count and the cell range. Application 1. The following table shows the marks of a group of students 2 years ago. Find the total marks, the average mark, the number of marks. Given the following table, student's name Ahmed Hassan, Yara Sami, أيمن محمود، إسراء سيد، آية جمال. Given the marks for the academic year 2013-2014 and 2012-2013. Remember, in this table there is no mark for the last student آية جمال in the academic year 2013-2014. Solution. We have to make a copy from the above table into the Excel sheet by entering the first column in cells from A2 up to A7, then enter the second column marks in cells B1 up to C1, then merge and center this range of cell, followed by the second column data in cells B3 up to B7, then enter the third column data in cells C3 up to C7 as given in figure 1. Remember, the cell B1 up to C1 are merged and centered, so write down the label marks will be centered in the two cells B1 and C1. Then we have to calculate the sum, average, and the count for the two academic years. So we have to write the functions as follows. In cells B8 up to B10, from cells B8 up to, we have to write all the functions must start with equal sign, so equal sum. The data range for the academic years 2014 start from B3 up to B7, so we equal sign sum around the brackets B3 up to B7. Similarly, the average of these marks start with equal sign, the function name average, and the cell range surrounded by around the brackets the same cell range B3 up to B7. For the counting, we have to write the function name start with equal sign, then the function name count, followed by the cell range surrounded by around the brackets. These three functions must be written in cells range B8 up to B10 as in figure 2. As you see in figure 2. Then these functions are copied to the academic range 2013 by selecting the cells B8 up to B10, then move the mouse to the autofill, then click and drag to the right hand side. You will get a copy of these functions to the cells C8 up to C10. As you see from figure, select the three cells. The resultant value will obtain for the sum 730, and the average, as you see, the count for marks. The count counts 4 marks. Then the last one is an empty cell. So a blank cell is not counted. The solution will be obtained in figure 5. As in figure 5, you will see by clicking the autofill, the cells or the functions are copied in cells C8 up to C10. Remember, the range of data changed. Similarly, start from B3 up to B7. By the same way, the function for the academic year 2013 will be changed. The data range, instead of B3 up to B7, changed into C3 up to C7, as you see in figure 5. Similarly for the function average and the function count. Remember, the cell B7, as we said before, is currently empty. So both average function and the count function would be affected by placing a 0 value in the cell. These functions ignore text and blank spaces which may be contained within the range. Now the next functions, which is called database functions, which are rated by the sum, the count, and the average. They are part of a series known as database functions. They are used to interrogate lists of data held on worksheet. These functions will perform their processing only on records or rows which meet a specified criteria. All other records are ignored. Let us start with the first database function, which is called the sum function. This function adds the numbers in the field or column of records in a list that match a condition or criteria. The syntax of the function dsum will be as follows. Start with equal sign, then the function name dsum. The arguments surrounded by rounded brackets includes the database range, then the field of interest, and the condition or criteria. Where the database, the range of cells that makes up the list or database. The field indicates the column label enclosed between double quotations mark. So the field label will be surrounded by a double quotations or a number without quotation. It means in our case number, the order of the column. This number represents the position of the column within the list. And the criteria is the range of cells that contains the condition. The function dCount. It counts the cells that contain numbers in a field or column of records in a list or database that match a condition. The syntax will be as follows: equal sign, the function name dCount, and its argument surrounded by round brackets, which include database, range, the field of interest, and the criteria. Similarly, for the function dAverage, it averages the values in a field or column of records in a list or database that matches a condition. And the syntax will be equal sign, the function name dAverage, and the arguments between round brackets, the database range, the field of interest, and the criteria. Remember, the column headings of the database must be placed directly above the data, and these headings included within the range of the database or the table in the formula. To include two alternatives criteria for one variable or column, they placed one below the other. This is very important. Note again, to include two alternatives criteria for one variable or column, the two alternatives criteria must be placed one below the other. Application. A city health center has the following database. Given the patient, the age, and the theater operations. The theater operations include two columns. The first column represents the doctor name and the time required for each operation. Given the patient names and their ages and the doctor for each patient and the time required for each operation. Find the following with respect to Dr. Islam. So all the questions, the coming questions, will be computed with respect to Dr. Islam. So the first condition or the first criteria, we have to select the theater operation doctor, the column doctor, and Dr. Islam. Then the first question, the number of patients aged over 40 years with respect to Dr. Islam. So we have two conditions or two criteria. Then the average age of patients, all patients of Dr. Islam. The last question, the total operation time with respect to the patients of Dr. Islam. Solution. We have to write down or make a copy from this table into the Excel sheet. To obtain figure 6. So the cell range of the database is started from A3 and ended with D11. So remember that the labels of the database are included in the range of the database. The labels like what? Like patient, like age, doctor, and time, included within the range of the database. So the database here will start from A3 and ended with D11. So the criteria for the first questions will be the column label doctor. Under the column label doctor, we have to select Dr. Islam, and we are going to find the number of patients aged over 40 years. So the number of patients aged more than or greater than 40 years will be at the column label age. So we have to another column which is called age. We are looking for the ages greater than 40. Then the conditions or the criteria for the first questions will be column doctor. We have to select Dr. Islam, and under the age we have to select the ages greater than 40. So these criteria are written in an empty cells. We selected cells from E3 up to F4 to write the condition for the first questions. Then, to count the number of patients aged over 40 years for Dr. Islam, we have to write the following function in cell E12. So start in E12 by equal sign, then the function name the count, to count the number of patients aged over 40 years, followed by the arguments enclosed between round brackets. First, the range of the database. The range of database starts from A3 and end with D11. And the field for our interest is the field labeled by age. So age is surrounded by double quotations, or it can be replaced, the age can be replaced by 2, since the age column is the second column in the given database. Followed by the criteria. The criteria for the first questions are written in cells E3 up to F4. For the second question, to compute the average age of patients seen by Dr. Islam. Remember, there is no restriction on the age, so we have to compute the average age of all patients seen by Dr. Islam. So there is no need for the criteria of the age greater than 40 years. Then The function will be written in A3, start with equal sign. The function for the database average is called the average, followed by the database range from A3 up to D11. The field of interest is the age, and the criteria will be selected for Dr. Islam. Dr. Islam in range E3 up to E4. From E3 up to E4. To compute the total operation time executed by Dr. Islam for all patients of Dr. Islam. So our criteria will be E3 up to E4. But the total operation time, so the field of our interest will be the field labeled by time. Labeled by time. So the function will be written in E14. Start with equal sign. The function for database sum is called dsum, and the range of the database start from A3 up to D11. Then the field of interest or our column of interest is called time. So time is surrounded by double quotation mark, and the criteria start from E3 up to E4. These functions are written in cells E12, E13, and E14, and the resultant value after execution these functions will be obtained in figure 7. But the function will be displayed from the formula, then select show formula. You will get the functions, the number of patients aged over 40 years for Dr. Islam, as you see in E12, equal sign the count, the database range, age, and the criteria, followed by the average age of patients seen by Dr. Islam in E13, and the total operation time executed by Dr. Islam given the function in E14. Thank you very much. See you again next Sunday.